it's always interesting to hear about people's stories on how they become, accustomed to the hammer. Yourself, you threw it in high school, but you were also an accomplished shot putter.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find the hammer, and why did you decide to focus on just that event?
Okay. Summer of my junior year, I came to throwing camp here at UCLA, and I wanted to come here in the worst way. So I was a pretty good shot putter, but I knew I wasn't, the type of guy who was going to get a big scholarship throwing, 68 feet, things like that. So I tried the hammer, I tried the javelin, and I was lucky enough when I went back home to San Diego at UCSD, there's a couple of masters throwers throwing the hammer. And I just asked him if it was okay, if I could, try to throw with you once a week and things like that. And it was just a good way for me to, still train a little bit. So I did that for about 2 months before, 2 or 3 months before track season, about once a week, before I really had to start focusing on throwing the shot disc for CIF and the state meet, things like that.
You're from the San Diego area,
right?
But I believe your parents are Hungarian.
We're Hungarian, right? Yeah.
Right. So they have a rich tradition in hammer throw.
Right.
You know that.
And that was totally just like by coincidence.
Okay.
I played football, I played baseball, just about any sport you can name, I pretty much tried. And track was like the last thing that I tried, and luckily, it worked out pretty well.
We got the indoor season coming up. It's actually right around the corner. I'm sure you're preparing for that.
Yeah.
But you actually redshirted 1 year, and was that due to injury?
Kind of a tradition of redshirting our first year here at UCLA, and it hasn't been 100% that freshman do redshirt, but we do try to redshirt the first year just to kind of get bigger, get stronger, get to know the system, especially coming out of high school if we're not that accomplished yet to compete at the Pac-10 level especially. Okay. We try to just redshirt a year and just gain that experience.
So that experience has probably helped you a lot, especially because you're entering your 5th year here.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had your senior year last year. Mm-hmm. It's got to help you out a lot heading into the 09 season.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this year's kind of just, put together everything I've learned here in the last, 4 years and make it a special year for my 5th year.
Now the indoors and the weight, in 2006, you threw the weight once and you threw right around 55 feet. 2007 indoors, not at all.
Not at all.
In 08, you come back and almost come out of nowhere for the indoor weight throw 70 feet, taking 7th at the NCAA championships. How much did that propel you not only to accomplish what you did indoors, but heading into the outdoor season in 07?
I felt that having that experience of competing against everyone, the big weight throwers who also throw the hammer was just a great experience of seeing everyone early season. And getting to compete with them, in a different arena, which I thought was great. Indoors was a really fun season. It's really short, so it goes right off the national list. So it's a little different. You don't have to get ready for Pac-10s. You don't have to get ready for a regional qualifier. Just hit your mark and just get ready for that one meet. And I think, other than NC Outdoors, it's one of the funnest meets out there.
Speaking of NCAA Outdoors, this past season you placed 4th in the hammer, set a UCLA record of 229.05. And then a couple weeks later, you head out to Eugene. You place a respectable 17th overall. How did the outdoor season go for you, overall?
The whole season was a lot longer than I've been used to as far as indoor and outdoor, and especially with the trials. But I feel like I learned as much last year as I did in my other past 3 years combined. I just learned, the ins and outs of, the whole traveling and getting ready for particular meets and knowing how to prepare for, how to prepare for the regional, how to prepare after that, and what to do with the weeks off. And my coach, Arvanegas, just kind of, his program is just believing in his, in his way of doing things and committing yourself 100% that he has a plan for you, and in the end, it's going to come out well.
And you've got a lot of experience under your belt now, senior. You're the leader of this throws team especially. What are your goals and expectations heading into 2009?
Well, here at UCLA, we're measured by one thing only, that's national titles. And you know what, it would be great to get another national title for this for the Bruin throwing program. And that means a lot to me.
First of all, he's very dedicated to the one event, so he makes that one event more work than most guys make 3 events worth of work. So he's wonderful that way. Also, size-wise, I knew that his chances to help us in a big way in the shot or discus were limited. I recruited him strictly as a hammer thrower, and you know, having our own facility to throw in here now, before we used to have to go out off campus to throw, I knew I could do more work with him in the one event now and specialize him. And so far, it's turned out to be real good for him to be a one event thrower.
Yeah, looking back at his last outdoor season, 4th at NCAA's, and very respectable at the Olympic trials. You know,
Right.
how does that look at you as far as heading into the 09 season? Expectations, goals?
My expectations for him are always tempered by mechanics. He tends to make some very serious throwing mistakes. He's so gifted, he can undo those mistakes in terms of the 65 to maybe 68, 69 meter range. To go where he needs to go, he needs to make big mechanical adjustments. He has done some of those adjustments in training in the past, particularly with lighter balls. He's so into trying to muscle the hammer that he ends up turning wider than he should and being less than patient with the mechanics of the throw. So this year's throwing will be very much the result of those changes if he can take that next step.